Hi, welcome to the Circle of Alchemy Sisters. My name is Dedra. I'm here with my lovely co host, Kristi, and we are picking up part two of Journey of Humanity. So I am going to hand it over to Kristi and see where we want to pick up.
Okay, no pressure. Okay, so I don't know where we left off last time at all, but I have been getting the message all morning that we're gonna begin after the Great Flood. We just had a morning meeting. They confirmed that we're gonna begin after the Great Flood. So they're saying after the cataclysms that were caused, and they're saying because we had created so many versions of humanity, we had experimented so many times trying to create the quote unquote perfect human. Um, we disrupted the energy and the frequency of the land. We created many aggressive sort of beasts mixed with humans that were sort of causing chaos all around the land. Okay. So, because of the great chaos that was happening on Earth, they're saying because they didn't have permission to come down here and do what they did, right? They didn't have permission from what we call now the Galactic Federation, right? They were like they were rebelling, they were not following rules. So they came to Earth and they sort of created all of these different kinds of humans. And oh shit, look what we did. Now we gotta go and ask for help because there's chaos,
Right.
right? So it was decided that they would send some sort of asteroid or towards direct something towards Earth so that it would wipe out basically humanity that they had created so that they could go back down. Because after they told it's like after they told the Galactic Federation or whatever what they had done, the Galactic Federation was like, if you would have just come to us, we think this is a great idea. The way you did it wasn't the way that we should have done it. We're not going to create slaves. You know, we should not do it with those intentions. So let's go back in and let's create a new race on this place that you call Earth, that you know the land, all of these things. So they wiped it all out. The Great Flood came, the pole shift, all that stuff. And in that wiping out most of the things that they had created, right? So they're coming down, and I keep hearing, the land of Chem, the land of Chem. And if you've read Billy Carson's Emerald Tablets of Thoth, this is definitely in there. I have read it. I'm just going to channel information. I'm not going to quote anything. That's not what I do. I'm receiving a channel. So whatever, don't come at me like, this is not what the book says. This is like, I'm literally just channeling. Okay? I don't have this knowledge. I have read it. It just hasn't sunk in. So they're showing me basically coming down in a spacecraft, like a plane or whatever they're flying over, and I can see water, but I can also see the pyramids sort of peeking out, right? And that's how he knew this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, and this is a very long time later, right? They had to let the cataclysms and they kept coming and checking, like, is it stable now? Is it stable now? And this is, I don't know how much longer later, but I am getting Thoth. Okay, so I am getting Thoth. So whoever was directing him to do this sent him down to go basically restart humanity in a nice, loving, kind way. Sort of what Jesus Christ was sent here to do, right? That Christ consciousness. It almost started with Thoth. He brought the Christ consciousness to the earth. He knew that when he landed, the land was full of barbarians. It was barbarians, and they were they were coming at him with, I know this is in the book, coming at him with sticks, right? They were in a group, and as soon as his ship landed, he opened the doors, they were all like charging at him with these sticks. And he brought, now I know also that Billy Carson channels this, because I believe that Billy Carson is also a channel. There's no way he would have all this beautiful knowledge if he wasn't a channeler, right? So Thoth kind of had, their technology. They have such great technology that he was able to like freeze them in their positions. Okay, wow. It was a force field, right? And I do know that Billy Carson brings forward the information of that our government actually has created. I wish I could remember the name right now. It's a governmental, something of war, like a man of war, or I don't know what it's called, but they expel this frequency, and it literally stops humans in their tracks. Like, it makes your head like, it just stops. You can't go past it. It's like an electric fence for a dog. Okay, so they project this frequency, and it stops people.
So it's like a force field?
Yes. And it's to stop like large crowds, mass, prison riots, things like that. It's a way of like, so, I don't know why I had to say that. Anyways, so kind of like exposed this thing, and the humans stopped, and when they finally kind of calmed down, he was able to communicate with them in a way that they would understand. And he's saying like most of it was telepathically. Like telepathically, I kind of just relaxed their minds, told them why I was here, told them what I was here to do, told them where I came from, told them that my ancestors had been here long ago, and I was here to help them. I wanted to really help them. I was there to give them tools. I was there to give them knowledge, and I was there to create a society, sort of. So that is where he's leading me to now, and he wants to stop and ask if you have any questions.
Yes. These beings that Thoth came in contact with, were these beings that survived the flood?
Yes. There are many species. There are many species that survived the flood. And that's what he's saying. You were channeling yesterday about giants in Missouri, and they're one of the species that survived the floods.
Okay.
They ran far away.
How did they survive?
Lots of them went underground. Lots of things went underground. Lots of things migrated to tallest of trees. There weren't all parts of the earth were not covered in water. There was islands, there was dry spots. So they were able to escape. Some of them were able to escape and find one another.
So was the point of the Great Flood to eliminate majority of the I guess the barbarians
yes, to eliminate most of the mistakes that we had made.
Were they successful in that?
Most of them, yes. And that is why the quote unquote giants were sent, the Nephilim were sent to lands far away, because we didn't want to hurt them. We didn't want to murder them or kill them, but they were not allowed to be there anymore. So we sent them away to far off lands so that they wouldn't be hunted and slaughtered and killed by the barbarians that we were retraining how to be an evolved society.
Okay, great.
Okay. We also want to talk about, and I honestly feel like I am channeling Thoth here, but he is saying we, so it's a collective of, and he's saying Anunnaki, right? Like, we're all here now to fix the mistakes that we made. The intentions that we made humanity with were not the intentions that a species should have been made with. And unfortunately, that intention has basically stuck with you your entire life. It's bred into you, that intention that you are slaves essentially, and that you must bow down to a master. And now we're here to sort of sweep up the mess that we have created so long ago, because it's like the final hour for humanity. Like, either you can go down this deep, dark, yucky path and destroy your planet that we have done many times, us as being here for thousands of years, billions of light years. We have been around for so long. We have destroyed planets. You are a new species. And if you do not understand how your planet works, without even meaning to, you could destroy the planet and wipe yourselves out. So that's why we're here, is to bring forth again. I feel like I am now descending again onto the land of Chem to tame the barbarians, because they are not aware of their greatness. Mm-hmm. They're not aware of the power that they have, that they hold. If only they would just hold a higher frequency within their bodies, knowing that you are not slaves and you do not need to bow down to a master. No one is your master. You are your own God. Yes, there is a great source. There is a great and wonderful and powerful source that we receive abundance and unlimited love and unconditional compassion and understanding from. But they are not to be worshipped. They are to be worked with, to be your partner, to be your oneness, to be yourself. We are all here moving towards a new frequency. New frequencies are the things that can save humanity. No longer are you here to be slaves. Do you understand me, humans? And you're going to have to change your systems, the way you view time, the way you view work, the way you view play. You are going to have to revamp every single one of your systems, and that is taking place now. All of the corruption that is happening, all of the disclosure that is coming through, it is to crumble all of those systems that are no longer serving humanity, so that you may see the truth and reality of things, that you are your own God. And you can maintain your own vitality and your own wisdom and your own, they're saying, abundance. The abundance is up to you. The abundance is your responsibility. You do not need to wait for your boss man to pay you to create abundance. If you realize, when you look around you and you are surrounded by lights and food and trees and gardens and friends and family and loved ones, that is your abundance. And once you start focusing on how much abundance you are surrounded by, the financial abundance will make its way to you. But it is a way of reprogramming humans. And I feel so privileged to be able to be here again to assist humanity in breaking free from the chains that they have been created by. It is time now, again, humans, to ascend in to your roles of kings and queens, of gods and goddesses, and work together. Equality to produce a land that has never been produced before. You are now here in the golden age to produce gold that will last for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, so that your future ancestors will thank you. Whoo, Lord, I have goosebumps everywhere. That was crazy powerful.
That was a beautiful message.
Woo, I literally have zero recollection of what we talked about. I just know that it was high frequency. I'm getting the downloads. Thoth is back. Thoth is back to oh God, barbarians, something like that.
Yeah. He's referring to us humans
as
like barbarians again.
Whew.
But
Okay.
I think he means it in a different way, though.
He doesn't mean he was just like rephrasing the original texts. He's back again, and he's saying that Christ, like him and Christ are basically the same soul, right? Like they have come here many, many times to ignite humanity. And they're saying, like, this is the last time, dude. Like, this is the last call. You know, we all have to just discover who we really are and understand who we really are so that we can save our land, right?
His energy is really powerful.
Woo! Do you feel it?
I do. I do.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay, I have to recover from that for a little. So, let's talk about something. Let's talk about something to get me sort of out of that channel. It was super intense.
Okay.
Whew. Oh my God. He's saying thank you so much. Thank you. He does not want to leave. He does not want to leave. Okay. He's saying thank you so much for allowing me to come through and relay this message. I have been very excited to come through and relay this message. I was very excited to come in and speak for myself. A lot of times we send channels through that are familiar with your body to relay the messages, but I personally wanted to come through and allow you to get acquainted with my energy once again. So thank you so much for allowing me to come through and relaying the messages to free humanity of the chains that they have been placed in.
Oh, that's amazing. Whew. I love him. Is he in a physical body right now, or is he just a light being?
No, he's a light being. He's a light being. He's very intense. And you can see he's gone. Like, my energy totally changed. I'm very chill. I'm very relaxed.
Oh, that's amazing. I love these chances whenever, or these opportunities to meet these different beings, especially when they're so ancient. And we've read about them, we've heard about them, and they come through and they channel, and they just have these beautiful messages to give us. And it makes me so excited to
privileged.
Very privileged. Yes. Very, very privileged. It's just this
it's
like being drawn. It's like I'm being drawn, and I would love like to just sit in a room with them, you know?
Well, you just did.
Yes, but I want to see them.
I know, we were talking about that this morning. Like, how do the girls that channel aliens never see UFOs? Like, please show me. But we have a beautiful meeting, our witchy meeting on the 25th, the planetary alignment. So maybe we'll get really lucky and see some cool stuff in the sky.
Yes, and we need a telescope.
We do.
We do
need it. We are manifesting a telescope because there's no reason that us astrological witchy girls, alien channels there's no reason we shouldn't have a telescope. Like,
we should definitely have a telescope.
Okay, we're manifesting a telescope live with you guys. Like, manifest us a telescope. Help us.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, what do we want to talk about now? Where did we leave off?
So we left off with Thoth coming in, working with the barbarians, helping to create a society. And then we talked about the giants that were sent off so the barbarians wouldn't hunt them. So that's kind of where we left off, I do believe.
Okay, so they're saying, like, the rest is kind of follows the New Testament.
Okay, after that, New Testament.
We're not moving fast forwarding into times of the New Testament, but the energy of the New Testament. Thoth brought down the energy of what the New Testament says that Jesus brought, right? So Thoth was retraining humanity how to live and be their own God. And I feel like society did really run really well for a long time. After Thoth came back and he started, obviously it's a rough going. When you're training barbarians who have been living thousands of years as barbarians and retraining them how to ignite their soul, open their soul. And they're saying, like, it was like working with kindergartners, sitting down on our play mats and playing with, like, you know, they're showing me toddlers like playing with what is clicking. It's driving me nuts. um he's showing me, it was basically like playing with toddlers, like sitting them down and showing them how to treat one another, how to love one another. And then it was like we started schools, right? We started training facilities. We spread that message around so that each person could really understand how to live in a society. And they're saying fire, you know, fire came down, fire was brought into the picture, hunting and cooking their meats, eating together, community. So we just brought the energy down of sort of learning how to work together to form societies, connecting other societies instead of warring with them, you know. So that's the energy that they brought down after the Great Flood.
Would there be any evidence of these teachings from this time?
Well, they're saying, like, I feel like I'm channeling from the Emerald Tablets ish.
Okay, so there wouldn't be like any drawings like in caves from this?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Yes, there is. When new societies started to form and the pictures they started growing, they're saying, like, once the pictures started to change, you can see that something had told them or taught them how to really just change things. It went from being simple to being a little more complex. And that's basically what the extraterrestrials brought down to Earth after the Great Flood, to start retraining humans on how to act. And then at a certain point came sort of a darker energy to enter onto the land. And that's when, like, the third dimensional patriarchal, like, some decided that they didn't want to live as one with their brother, that they wanted to go off on their own, they wanted to rebel, they didn't want to follow the rules. And that's when human free will started to take place, right? Like, that's when we had the meeting up there, like, some of the humans are going off on their own, and it was like, well, we don't want to mind control them, like, we want to let them have their own free will. They don't want to be slaves, then they can't be slaves. They have to be able to make their own free will choice, right? So certain humans started to go off, right? And that's where the patriarchy started to happen, and that's where the teachings went. I also think that Thoth brought forth, I feel like Thoth was very much into the divine feminine. So I feel like his teachers, a lot of them were women. I feel like there was a lot of oracles back then. I feel like after they opened their minds, after he just decalcified their pineal glands, the women, like they are today, really started to expand their ways of connecting, right? So I feel like when Thoth first came down, it was more of like a matriarchal society. I feel like it was really ran under maybe the divine feminine, sort of the teachers, the lovers, the mothers, right? And then certain men were like, no, this is not how it was before. Like, men are in charge, because animals, no, I don't want to be like this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And they started going off on their own. And that's when the actual balance of divine feminine and divine masculine, that energy was really implanted onto the earth. It was in that separation of the oneness, right?
Wow.
So, and I feel like eventually, I just feel like eventually all of the records were wiped out. All of the information was wiped out. I feel like there was records. I feel like there was a lot of priestesses and goddesses that were really teaching all around the land of Chem and all around the earth. But I feel like they were all wiped out. I feel like once the patriarchy finally took its place, like eventually it was like humans have free will. We have to allow them to do what they need to do. We need to leave so that they can really do what they came to do here, right? Which was be a free society and create what they thought was best. So after they left, it's like that's when the patriarchy took over. They didn't have the divine feminine teachers, the divine ones, anymore. Now it was just humans. And unfortunately, men are much stronger than women physically. Once they didn't have that divine protection anymore, once they were gone and we all have free will to do whatever we want, that's when the patriarchy took over, because men are physically stronger. They were physically stronger. We weren't put here to be the lifters and we were put here to be the, soft ones, So now I am not saying that women can't be stronger than men, because they obviously can. I'm just saying that's how the patriarchy took over, was by physical force.
Okay. So like the males exerting their dominance over the females.
Yeah. Enslaving them. Like I'm literally seeing people like handcuffed and like trapped, like disappeared, kidnapped, all sorts of nasty, yucky things that patriarchal men do to women. So, eventually it was just the matriarchal societies were completely wiped out. They existed all over the earth, and I feel like we do have some probably cave drawings of a matriarchal society. I do feel there are like little things that they didn't get, there is evidence of those things somewhere, but for the most part, the records were wiped clean. They didn't want women to know how powerful they were, how connected to the divine they were, how much of leaders they really were. They just completely wiped it out. And that's another reason Thoth is here. Obviously, we channel about the divine feminine all the time, and Thoth was kind of the original. He just brought that to the planet, like this loving, kind, beautiful, flowing matriarchal society. And I'm also not saying that all matriarchal societies were divine light. There obviously free will comes into every situation. So I feel like there were some very barbaric matriarchal societies as well.
Okay. All right.
Whew.
How you feeling?
My gosh, it's intense today. I thought I was nervous for today, but it's not my nerves that I was feeling. It was just like, this is intense. Like, they're telling me that they want nothing more than to free humanity. And freeing humanity, we have to know, like, what our history is. We were literally created as slaves. And now they're back telling us, no, you're not slaves. You're not slaves. You're free. You're free to do whatever you want. And because there's all this now beautiful energy that didn't exist on the planet before, because our planet is evolving, there's all this crazy energy that us humans don't know how to use and don't know how to direct. Like, we're manifesting every day. We're creating our lives every day. We're just not aware of it. So now they're here to let us know, like, dude, you can create anything you want. Anything you want, whatever reality you want to live in. It is now time to create that in your mind, feel it in your heart, and say it into the universe and let it go, right? But it's going to take time because you're not in practice.
Right. No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the emerald tablets, is that what you said that they're,
I think there's two different versions. So there's the emerald tablets. I think Hermes is the original writer of the Emerald Tablets. And then there's also the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Now, I don't know how they connect, but I have heard Billy Carson say that he thinks that they're the same people. Like, maybe he was... Thoth incarnated many, many times. And it goes back to in the pyramids, There's a regeneration chamber that he can like just like jump into bodies at will whenever he wants. So I feel like his message was so strong that he incarnated in so many people and brought the messages through in so many different versions.
Would humans like us ever be able to? Okay, let me rephrase. Who has access to the emerald tablets?
I don't know where they are. I don't have the knowledge of that. But they have been recreated in books. They have been recreated in books for humans to read. And again, it's translation. Some of the translations are askewed. So that's why the channelers are here, right? That's why we're here.
So did Billy Carson actually see the tablets? Was he ever able to, or is this like channeled information from the tablets?
I think, I don't actually know. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that Billy Carson translated some of the emerald tablets. Like, I feel like, I don't know the truth. I know that he is very intelligent.
Yes, I've seen some of his work.
And like, he's an alien. He's a freaking alien, you know, like, and I feel like he's a channeler.
Yeah.
I don't know that he would admit to being a channeler. I think he would admit that he's just very, very intelligent, but I feel like it comes from somewhere else. I feel like Billy Carson is a channeler.
Okay. So it doesn't really say a whole lot. Would the Vatican have a lot of the original information?
Okay. So they're saying that, yes, there are a lot of records that are being withheld from humanity, and not in a bad intentional way. And they're also giving me, woo, this is coming in hot off the press. They're giving me vibes that sort of the Vatican knows what's up. Like, they know what's up, right? Mm-hmm. They're starting to change their services, right? They're starting to open their minds a little bit more. So I do think for some reason the Vatican is going to be part of the New Earth program.
Okay.
Like, I feel like they're really starting to expand the ways that they think. I feel like there is somebody in... whoever's in charge there, I don't know if it's the Pope, but I feel like he has a divine connection. I feel like he may receive divine messages. I feel like he is changing the face of what religion could be.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Because I don't know personally what's going on. I don't know anything about this, but I have seen on Facebook, I think, that for New Year's celebration in the Catholic Church, they were doing like a full moon ceremony, like us lovely witches do. Like, they were writing things down and burning it to release it. So what I just channeled holds very true to what I saw on Facebook. I know you can't believe anything you say, but I thought it was original. Like, I think that in churches, they were really burning these release notes, and it was so beautiful to me. I almost got teary-eyed, right? Because that's what we all need to do, is just go back to those beautiful pagan days, right? Where we just were at one with nature and we loved source. We don't have to be in these little clubs and say, like, my God's better than yours and I'm going to heaven and you're going to hell. Like, my God's better. No, man, we all have the same God. We all have the same God, which is universal source, where everything comes from. There is only one God. That is right. And that is source, right? But source is not a human in the sky sitting on a throne judging you. It is everything around you, right? And that's what our pagan roots go back to, is just like celebrating everything around us. And yes, absolutely, taking the things that don't serve us anymore, writing them down like the original. Like, we're communicating, we're writing, we're releasing, and we're setting it on fire into beautiful, beautiful roots that all of us really, really, really just need to get back to, you know?
Yes.
I do not agree a lot when everybody says we need to stay where we are, we need to blah, 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 right? I do believe that sometimes we need to go back in time and just start new, right? But because we are elevating, because evolution is happening, it's like we're going forwards and backwards at the same time, right? Like we are evolving towards a new way of humanity, but we're also devolving because we're getting back to the root of things and how we're originally supposed to live before all the greed and the patriarchy took place.
Uh, Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's pick up from where we left off with the the masculine, divine masculine, taking over the divine feminine.
Um. Okay. Well, and he is saying that's basically that's what happened, and that's what been ruling for thousands of years. For thousands of years, that's been ruling, and that was the whole point of me saying that's why we're here. That's why we're here,
Okay.
right? We want to fix that. We want to fix that. We want to let everyone know that if we come together as one, the divine masculine and the divine feminine coming together as one, we can heal the earth. We can combine evolution. We can get rid of this third dimension that we don't even want to exist anymore. And they're saying it is going to take time, and it is going to take patience, and it's going to take learning, and it's going to have to take de-learning, erasing everything maybe you've ever been taught before in your life, and relearning the truth of who you are and what you're here to do. And they're saying eventually the project changed. Okay, so eventually the project was like, hey, they've evolved, we've placed these souls into them, they have these souls, right? And they can like connect to the divine. What if we could connect to them, right? What if we could connect to their souls and we could live like with them, in them, right? And I know this sounds really bad, like we are literally just avatars. At some point the science experiment changed, and it was now Earth School. Like they go from being regular humans living their free will to now we're reincarnated beings living out our Earth School.
Okay. So we are actually like ascended masters, like souls,
Yes.
very highly evolved souls, like in our bodies. When did that start happening? Like how long ago in human terms would that have started happening to evolve?
Okay, now they are showing me biblical times.
So it has been since then. So like since Yeshua's day, Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
time.
Yes. Yes, Earth School changed. It changed. It evolved into something different. It was almost like, do you think we could go in there and like convince them of a better way to live? Like no other way than jump in them. Like let's just jump in them. But I want to learn too, like I want to learn. I want to see if I can evolve without remembering all of my billions of years of knowledge, right? Like I'm going to jump into this human soul, convince them from the inside out that they are lovely, divine creatures, all capable of, doing all these things. But in the meantime, we're going to set the earth to when you're born into this universe, you erase your mind. Like this is all programmed. Earth is programmed. Like they have completely made it like programmed. Everything is set for a very specific reason. Okay? The moon set for a very specific reason. The planetary alignments set for a very specific reason. We are talking about beings that have been living for billions of years. Okay, so I think there's another thing that's in the Emerald Tablets that Billy Carson teaches, and it's about the different beings, the levels of consciousness that they can create planets and they can create galaxies and solar systems. That's what Earth is. That's what our solar system is. It has been created specifically for the ascension of the souls that we possess.
Were there souls in the bodies before that?
There were souls, because they're taking me back to, that's how Isis, Isis, when she gave birth, that was part of her divine nature that went into them. But something, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was maybe evolution kind of bred it out of them, because now they're just humans breeding with humans. There's no more like divine being bred in, right? So I think at a certain point it was like, hey, there's no more. They're out of that essence. They're out of our essence, and they're losing control again. So what can we do to try to awaken them without controlling them? We have free will, but we have these divine souls inside of us directing our avatar in the way that we are supposed to go.
This is really great stuff. This is really, I'm so entranced.
I can't wait to watch it so I can know what's going on.
This is really cool. It makes me think of all the things that I never thought about before. Mm-hmm. So that was really cool.
Yeah. So they're saying when the Earth Project changed, they're saying like a lot, I don't know if we can go back in time and like check or look, but like I feel like there was a lot of deaths around a certain time period in biblical times, like a mass. Wasn't there like a plague or?
Yeah. Is this referring to like where they mentioned like the locusts and like the plagues of like, and then didn't it end up going into sickness too? Like I can't remember the exact thing, but this was like Egyptian time,
so
right?
It feels like that's what happened. Like it took humanity a while to adjust to the new energy. So like it's like their bodies, I feel like they jumped into humans like who weren't born, like humans that already were living. They like went into them, integrated themselves into that, and that would cause mass sickness because their bodies were not used to that frequency.
Maybe I got the time period wrong. Maybe
there's some kind of sickness that happened that people just died in mass quantities in biblical times, like something that would happen like where it just wiped out a whole bunch of people all at once.
Okay, so that was like an epic fail.
Yes. And they're saying that's when we discovered that we could do it as they were being born. Program them before they were even born in. Connect the soul plug, right? Before they were even born.
Okay.
And that seemed to work a little better, but they are saying that some human bodies were not, still to this day, some human bodies are not strong enough to handle the new wave of energy that is coming in.
So is today currently?
Yes.
Is that why we have stillborns and stuff?
Yes. There is also some souls decide I'm not ready yet. They sign the contract and then they have a chance to come in and they say, oh, I'm not ready.
So like SIDS
yes.
and stuff like that?
Yes. There is a moment, there is you're allowed to leave your body whenever you need to. Everything is free will. Oh. So every person who has ever been taken on this earth plane has decided that that is the time they want to be taken. Everything is free will. If you decide that you're going to get in a car crash and die at the age of 16, you made that choice as a soul for a reason. Every single thing is free will when it comes to the soul, also when it comes to the human.
Okay, so like people who have cancer, did they choose that way to die for themselves?
Okay. So they're saying they would have chosen to leave the earth at a certain time. They're saying that the poisons that we are exposed to have created many, many, many diseases that did not exist before. So they're saying that soul did decide to exit at a certain time, but maybe the method of exit will differ.
Okay. Okay, so it's not like they signed up to have cancer.
No.
They just signed up to leave at a certain time,
Yes.
certain age. And
Yes. There's also soul transfer. They're saying like once one soul is gone, and they're saying like this happens with a lot of cancer patients as well, who miraculously get better.
yeah.
Right? Like one soul is really tired. I have my contract is ending, so that soul will exit, and then a new soul will come in and be all fired up, and then they have like a miraculous healing journey, right?
Wow.
Like they got better, like they were dying, and then all of a sudden they fought back, and their soul was energized, and they repaired themselves.
But would they not act differently?
Yes.
But they would still have the memories that were already there
That's
inside.
Also, yes, and the human memories stay. Yes. That's also what happens with a lot of near-death experiences. One soul leaves and the new soul comes in.
I love it when the ear starts ringing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things that are put in place on Earth for very specific reasons. And we want to bring that knowledge forward so that humans will stop taking themselves so seriously. Since the frequency needs to be raised on Earth. It just needs to be raised.
What about suicides? Would those be the soul's choice to leave at a certain time, or is that human free will?
A little bit of both. Sometimes the suicide is to bring something to awareness, to create change. That person has sacrificed their life to bring forward this very specific thing that would not have happened unless that person did that thing. So not all suicides are some are divinely guided so that we can bring forward certain things that would not have been brought forward in life. But again, there are other suicides that are completely free will by humans. So that soul that wasn't ready to exit the body would get a chance to incarnate. They would move up in the line faster, right? Like there's a waiting list to get on Earth. So the ones who had their free will, their soul's free will taken from them and ended before their time in a human free will suicide, they get to like speed up at the beginning of the line because their free will was taken from them. They didn't get to stay.
Okay.
The human will took over.
All right. So this might be a touchy subject for some of our viewers, but I want to touch a little bit on it. What about, like, for example, mothers who kill their children and themselves at the same time? What's that about?
Okay. What they're saying is there are a lot of undiagnosed and diagnosed mental illnesses that are free flowing on the earth today. What we're trying to do is bring forward the energy of healing so that that very thing will not exist on the planet anymore. Okay? They're saying that that is absolutely, maybe the family would have chosen to all die together in a fire, right? But because the mother took that free will into her hands, she took away the chance that they... I don't understand what's happening. They're saying like it's all... There is free will that comes into play, but on some level, those souls know what is going on, okay? So it's almost like they say, like, this woman is about to snap. This woman is about to snap, and she's going to kill all of us and herself, right? So the souls might exit the body first. You know, like, we can see this coming from a mile away. We don't want to stay in our bodies for this. We're leaving, right? We're going to go into another body. We're going to go into another soul, or into another soul plan, into another contract. Because human free will does come into play a lot. Mm-hmm. But on some level, the soul is always aware of what is going on and either agreeable to it or exits before the human free will can take over.
Okay. I heard a story not too long ago where a mother has two children. She has a baby and she has another little kid. I don't know the sexes of these babies or the genders, but she jumps off a bridge or something or with her children, and it just made me think, like, Is this something
Those
that
children felt nothing at all. The souls were already gone. It's like when people have these mental illnesses, a lot of times the mental illness sometimes is like, say, if you're a starseed and you're coming from a very, very high vibrational planet and you're coming into a body, sometimes the body will malfunction. So there are some soul plans that have to be evacuated because the body can't handle that high of a spirit. There is a lot of soul transfer that goes on.
I mean, that's a relief, I guess, to know that they're still taken care of on another plane, on another realm, in the ethereals, you know.
Oh, and I don't want to make like human death like a small thing, because
No.
it's a huge thing where we live.
Yes.
Just in the ethers, it's not. It's just a transfer.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I apologize if people did not like what we just talked about, but it is stuff that is going on currently, and people are gonna have different views. So.
Ugh.
All right.
I'm just channeling information. I have no knowledge of any of these subjects. I'm just literally channeling information.
I'm to blame. I'm asking the questions. All right. But no, for people who want to have hope or to, to know that everything is okay.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that some questions are answered.
Human free will has caused a lot of darkness on the planet. It really has. And that's, again, why we're back here, right? Like, that's why, and I say we, talking from them, right? Extraterrestrials. That's why they're here, like, we made a lot of mistakes and we've created a lot of chaos, and we love you, right? We've been here since the beginning and we've watched you all evolve into such wonderful creatures, but so many of you are not aware of how much of a wonderful creature you are. So it takes over, and the soul will get dim and the human will get bigger. And that's when the free will comes into play, and we do things that normally wouldn't have been done if we would have been at the high vibration place that we need to be. Meaning, like, once we hold on to something, it really does drag us down, right? It does. There are so many people out there who have suffered at the hands of so many horrible things in life. Like, we have been hurt repeatedly. Horrible acts happen to us, and we hold on to those because we're taught, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. Don't talk about it. Don't, just like, it's fine. We'll get over it. We'll get over it. We'll get over it. We'll get over it. Right. And now is the time to say, like, no, we don't have to get over it anymore. We have to literally get rid of it.
Right.
We have to leave that old stuff in the past because we're going towards a new future. This is not me anymore. Though that person who experienced those things and allowed them to control her life and allowed me to live in my trauma, I'm having a soul transfer. I'm not her anymore. I'm this person who's moving forward, who knows that I am capable of creating whatever the hell I want to create whenever the hell I want to create it. But I also know that if it doesn't come immediately, that I've never used this energy before. It takes practice, right? It takes practice. And there are some people out there who are master manifestors. I do not consider myself a master manifester. I consider myself someone who is practicing, right? So if you meet a master manifester, you know someone who literally can just manifest anything that they want at any time. Learn from them. Right? Study them, ask them questions. It just seems like everything this person talks about, they automatically get, right? Take lessons from them. Right. Learn, ask them, how do you do this? Even if they don't know that they're a master manifester, pick their brain and ask them, how do you do this? And it's like, probably they say, I just envision it. I think about it. And then I just feel all the feelings that it would take to do that thing, and then I just speak it. I convince myself of it, and then it just lands in my lap, So learn from all of the people around you. Practice your manifestation. Start speaking into the universe the things that you literally want to create in your life, and stop saying, I don't, I am not.
Right.
We're saying all of the I'm going to see if you can paste a little picture in the corner.
Okay.
But I have a thing with the chakras on it, and it has power words that you can speak that are related to each chakra, and that's how you can learn to manifest. It's those I am, I feel, I speak, I see, I love, like speak with those words. Those are the power words. So we'll figure out how to get that in there.
All right. All right. Is there anything else?
Let's see. No, we do not have anything else for you today. We just want to thank you again for bringing information forward that humanity really, really needs to just like, you don't have to believe it and you don't have to understand it, but as long as we're planting seeds in your mind to cause you and go research for yourself, that's all we're here to do, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.